This show is sponsored by Sevi, answering all your commercial real estate needs. Sevi is the first commercial real estate company committed to the 4 C's: commercial real estate, community, content, and culture. Go visit Sevi at Sevi, S-E-V-I, properties.com. Again, SeviProperties.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the DMV Business Show. I'm your host, Otto Sevilla, and today I have a very special guest for you. We have Ramon Tejada. Ramon is the co-founder and CEO of Fresco. Welcome to the show, Ramon.
Thank you, Otto. I'm happy to be here.
Of course, the pleasure is all mine. Before we get into your personal and business journey, I'd like the audience to get to know the business a little better, just in case they haven't heard of Fresco. What do you folks do there?
Fresco is a commercial cleaning company. Our main focus is a property manager that manages apartment communities. We also have some nonprofit, and we do office work for nonprofits and healthcare institutions. We do a little bit for the government as well, Smithsonian Institution and other government agencies in the DC area.
I love that. And I like the name Fresco. How did that come about?
We first started with doing homes, as many cleaning companies do. That was our first clients were basically friends and family, and we wanted that when the person get to the house, they will actually feel that their home is clean. So we wanted that name to resonate with that, and fresh. And then we thought that Fresco would still be understood by the English speakers. So and also resonates with our team, with the cleaners that mostly speak Spanish. So yeah, that's how we came up with it in the beginning.
Yeah, that's great. But for those who might not know, Fresco in Spanish means fresh. So that's why I'm bilingual. My first language was also Spanish. So when I was like Fresco, I'm like, it's very great. I love the play of the name.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course.
It's worked well. The clients remember it really well, and also the cleaners. So yeah, it works.
So Ramon, for your personal story, are you originally from here, the DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia area?
No, I'm originally from the Dominican Republic. So I basically went to the U.S. after being an adult in a scholarship for business administration. That scholarship required me to come back to the Dominican Republic. So I was there for other 6 years, and then went back to so basically most of my adult years have been working in the U.S., but all my childhood until I was about 18. It's been in the Dominican, yeah.
So you grew up in the Dominican Republic then?
Yes. I grew up in the Dominican, and I go back all the time as well.
What part of the DR?
It's the north region. Most people are familiar with Puerto Plata, so we're about 45 minutes from the coast of Puerto Plata, and then northwest region, yeah, getting closer to the Haiti border.
Okay, yeah. I've been to the DR, beautiful island, but unfortunately I didn't get to explore all the island just because I went to all those beautiful all-inclusive resorts you have.
Of course.
And I went to La Romana. I was in that area.
Oh yeah. Beautiful area. But next time you come, you have to come to experience the actual Dominican experience, and get to have a Dominican dish, sancocho, which we love it, rice and beans. I'm sure you'll love it even more when you get to know the people, in the countryside.
Do you go there often?
Yes, I do. I have that advantage. I try to do a lot of remote work from the DR, so I go a lot to the back and forth. But I'm here very, very often. So yeah,
that's great.
I get that after working remotely. Really helps to get at least the office part of my job. I'm able to do it. If I stay a week here, 2 weeks, it's basically very smooth with my team. So yeah,
That
I'm very happy to be living that experience of still being connected to my culture while still pursuing my dreams in the US.
that's great. If I can briefly, Ramon, take you back to growing up in the DR as a child, what were you into? Besides, I know the big thing is the baseball. Everyone's a baseball
Yeah.
fanatic, of course. But growing up in the DR, what did you like?
Yeah, I had a great childhood. I lived in a street where most of my family live. I'm from a small town called Laguna Salada, very small town. So I had that privilege of growing up. I've been always a builder. I used to build my old toys, all my toys since I was little. Um, and I was building small farms or just planting vegetables in the backyard, building the house that to play with. um, so that was a lot of my childhood. I was always busy, always working, very serious too, minded since I was a kid. um, uh, Older people that know me from back then, they would tell me that I was always focused on doing something. So I was always getting after, cans, old oil cans to build my toys. And, I would go out to the gas station when they would change oil for the cars and get that. So that's a lot of the things I remember in my childhood, playing and building things. That's where I get most connected when I know I'm building something.
So it sounds like you liked working with your hands a lot as far as doing things and with the hands and building.
Yes, yes, definitely. Um, I sometimes I think about that as well. If I would really get a job that I need to hands-on instead of thinking more,
Uh-huh.
this is more the job that I have now. It's a little bit more strategic and supervising and things, but I still get to build, our systems, apps, and things for the cleaner and see how the system works and interacts. So I'm probably the happiest at my job I'm building something new. I'm adding some kind of portal, something that it's a little bit challenging. So yeah, it's not exactly with my hands anymore, but I feel when I retire also I'm able to, or when I'm older, I guess, I'm able to dedicate more time to, grow vegetables or, plant a garden and things like that. I think that part of me is still there.
Oh, there you go. I was thinking, do you do something now in your spare time with your hands? Maybe, I don't know, painting or like you said, like, gardening. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I plant vegetables, and I have a big yard, so I plant vegetables and try to spend, sometimes half hour, an hour, doing something, and I repair things around the house as well
That's
when I
good.
get a chance. So yeah, a little bit, not as much as I like to, but I'll do a little bit of that. Yeah.
I'm happy to hear you're handy. My wife would probably be jealous because I think she wishes I was more handy around the house.
That's. I was going to ask you, if you're, how comfortable are you with those things? But I guess you're not that much of a hands-on guy.
No, with my hands, not much. It's funny because when I come across people who like to work with their hands, and a lot of times I see not every time, they might be, it starts maybe a mechanic, and then maybe they own their own auto mechanic shop, or they start with plumbing or HVAC, and then maybe they stay that way as a technician if they want, or they have their own company. But it starts a lot with, for example, one of the guests we've had, he was into woodworking.
Mhm.
And then he opened his own woodworking shop and he's doing well there.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm not that handy, unfortunately.
yeah.
So you said, Ramon, you came to the US as an adult already because you had a scholarship, education
Yes.
scholarship.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
So
Um,
when you came here,
I,
how old were you? Do you remember?
I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah, 18, turning 19 when I came. So yeah, I did pretty well in high school in the Dominican. So they got me into a program to participate in a scholarship that was sponsored by Georgetown University, right there in DC. So yeah, I got that opportunity, life-changing opportunity actually for me, to go there, experience the U.S. for the first time, and learn a little bit of English. It was an associate program, so it was 2 years, but it was truly life changing for me. When I went back to the Dominican, it was really easy for me to get a job because I already knew a second language, and also being trained in a U.S. college helped me a lot to land that first job, which was very important to me. I always wanted to help my mom, to help my family, and that started me getting the first paycheck, which was an amazing feeling. Pretty young. I was only just turning, I was still 20, I think, just turning 21 when I started working.
And this is when you came, that's when you went back home.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
When you came here, Ramon, you said was it through Georgetown University, through that program through them?
Yeah, they were the admin part and sponsoring the scholarship. But I actually went to Iowa, to a community college in
In
Iowa.
Iowa. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I went for agricultural business administration back in Iowa. It was a huge change from what I was used to at that point. Cultural and weather and food and everything.
Sure.
I remember, yeah. I'm glad I was very young when that happened. I mean, when you're 18, 19, you're still, are very open to all those changes. And it was actually exciting to me, but I remember everything was new for 2 years, basically.
That major, did you choose that major, agricultural business?
To tell you the truth, I had, when I saw agricultural technicians here in the Dominican, they were doing really bad financially. Usually, agriculture was very rural and they didn't have a good pay. They usually worked for government. At that point, that has changed a lot, but it wasn't a role model that I wanted to follow. I wanted to be able to progress, to make some money for the family. And even though I was an agricultural boy all my life and I would plant, I always said that I didn't want to go to college for agriculture because I felt like I couldn't do I wouldn't be able to make any progress financially or professionally. But in the middle of the process, they started asking me what I knew about, and all I could talk about was things related to agricultural and farming and going back with my father to work the farm. So they told me, you should actually apply for farming. You have higher chances of getting the scholarship. Otherwise, you might not get it. And then I switched and did a great interview. I was connecting right away with the interviewers in that because everything they asked me, I already have lived through it. So yeah, so that's why I ended up going with agricultural.
At that time, Ramon, do you know a little bit of English? Because you mentioned the interview. So I'm sure this was probably with staff in Iowa.
It was a staff in the Dominican Republic, but there were basically business people from here, and there was one rep from Georgetown University here, or from the CAS Georgetown program, but she knew Spanish, so the interview was in Spanish, and I didn't know any English.
Okay.
So I knew Dominican high school English, which is very, very, very nothing, pretty much, not much that you can fluently have a conversation.
So when you came here at 19, did you first land to Washington for Georgetown, or did you go directly to Iowa from Dominican Republic?
Yeah, directly to Iowa. We landed in Miami, where we got together with other countries, other students from other countries, then Chicago, then Iowa. So it was a long trip. And then, yeah, but then that was my home for the next 2 years.
I'm sure it
was
was I
Iowa.
mean it's a different country, a different world. How was that experience for you for the first time living in Iowa? I'm sure which is different than living here in the DC metro area, um, coming from the DR.
Yeah, it was very, very different. I was lucky enough to have a host family. They would put us through a host family for the first year and then living on our own for the second year to have both experiences. And my host mother, my host family, she was great, and she would get a dictionary out, and, start translating words on things, what we wanted to eat or things like that. So I really always, I don't remember having anxiety about it, just being really excited and wanting to learn,
Sure.
everything. It was just like a dream come true to me to be able to go to college and, especially in the United States and learning. Yeah, I had some cousins when I was growing up that used to live in the New York area, and they would bring like polo shirts for me when I was a kid. So I had that idea of the United States like being a dream for us where you could buy your toys and things like that. So yeah, I was very positive about the whole thing. It didn't really stress me out at all.
Sure. And when you finish your degree and go back to the DR, did you ever think, I want to return back to this country, to America? Or were you already set with your minds, okay, I'm going to try to make whatever I can and go back home and see what I can do there?
Yeah, I wanted to go back, but I didn't really think I could, because the program was for 2 years, and you
Hmm.
would go back and then apply that what you learned back to your country. That was the whole idea. So, um, but when I finished college, I had an internship with a poultry company there in Iowa, and it was my first real job. So I really wanted to shine. I think I caused a great impression. I was, I didn't want to stop working when they hired me for a month. So I would go back, and when I finished my work, I wanted to do something at my boss house to to just to show them, I guess, what I can do. So they kept in touch with me, and maybe 2 or 3 years after, they offered me to uh, pay for some more education for me and bring me back. At the end, the education part wasn't possible because of the visa, but they were able to get me on a green card and bring me back to Iowa. So, when they made me the offer, of course, it was a big jump from what I was doing. And I already knew my boss there, my previous boss. So I said yes. And it took a couple of years of, paperwork and stuff, but they brought me over and, gave me a great job handling 14 of their facilities there in Iowa. Uh, so I was very happy, but at that point I really was shocked because of the things that I was missing. Like 2 years into the job, I was in Iowa and I couldn't find my food. I guess that was to the point where I was already feeling like I wanted to have a family and have a place that I can actually not only work but being a little bit having a life, I guess.
Hmm.
And that's where I decided to move to Washington D.C. then, and found a job there and moved to DC, where I had some friends already living in DC, and then I could find plantains, and I could find some of my food, some restaurants, like Peruvian restaurants and things like that I could get like uh, different food. It was huge for me just
Hmm.
to be able to sit down in a restaurant and buy some food. So yeah, that was my transition, I guess, from Iowa to DC.
And when you moved to this area to DC, you were what, late 20s, early 30s?
Yeah, at that point I was 26,
Okay, mid
26
20s.
years
Okay.
years old. Yeah, mid 20s when I moved. A food distributor in the area hired me to run their operations, And I met the co-founder, Miguel. He's no longer with Fresco, but we were the two that founded. And we worked in that company together, and we had that dream of, owning your own business. At that point, we had an idea of a logistics business with an app, which was fairly new at that point. But I think, like many dreams, we were feeling like it was gonna die if we didn't do something about it. So we decided that a cleaning company would be much easier to start. We didn't have much money saved or anything like that. We were both fairly new professionals in the US. So we decided it's time to do something, and we started cleaning houses ourselves. That was our way to say, if you really want to have your business, just put some sweat behind it. And we started on Sundays. We would clean houses. I remember our hourly wage was like $6 when we calculated the amount of time that we were spending. So it was a fraction of what we were making on our day job. But we got really excited, and that's how Fresco was born. Started doing houses.
So you started Fresco, Ramon, on the side while still working full time with the food distributor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We did that for about 8 months.
Okay.
I was the first one to quit. So I started doing Fresco full time while Miguel still was having an income. And at about 8 months into it, we decided that it was time to take the risk. We were very scared. You're never ready, to quit your job and then started. Some months you're doing okay. Next month, not so good. So yeah. But that was very, very challenging for us both.
Yeah, I'm sure it was scary. You're leaving a safe job, a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks to something that's unknown.
Yeah. We got our first commercial account in Washington, D.C. They're still our clients after 18 years. And when we got that first commercial account, that's where we realized that we could have some steady income, something to for us every month. I remember the same day that account was started, my older daughter was born, so I was going from the hospital, driving to DC to attend that account. I was cleaning, of course, the first couple of months. I was cleaning it myself, and Miguel would help at night as well. So yeah, very, very challenging, but very exciting times too. I don't regret any second of it.
How did you get those first few customers? Whether I know you started first with residential, with homes, right? And then you mentioned your first commercial account there. How did you get those first ones in?
Yeah, the first houses were basically friends and family. So that was one referral to the other.
Okay.
And we did good job, and they would refer us to a friend, and we started that friend, and then we had several houses that way. And then a friend of Miguel told him about that business that had some problems with their current cleaner, and they wanted something, great service. Guess they trusted. They heard that we were doing good service for homes, and we got that interview. I think they thought we were experienced in commercial cleaning. So I remember that, putting that first proposal together and having the interview. We didn't speak much, and I think they just assumed that we knew what we were doing, and gave us that first account. And since we were doing it ourselves, I guess we didn't have many systems in place, but we would get the job done with no complaints for the first couple of months. And then that was our first. It was a lot of experience from that account. yeah, but they gave us they trust on us, and after that, it was just one referral after the other. That account has, I think I had like 50 people working with them, so we got to know many of them, and we received several referrals, other businesses, friends of them that were working on another office. It was a little bit less competitive at that point.
Hmm.
We were also one of the first ones to start really getting into green cleaning and taking care of the environment. So we had very good selling point for that period as well. Yeah, that's
Oh,
how.
that's great. You were one of the first ones there to do that.
Yeah.
How
Uh,
soon? I understand from when you started the company, 8 months in, you left your job to go 100% into Fresco. How soon thereafter were you and Miguel able to hire your first employee and transition from there and growing it that way?
about 6 months. It
Oh,
wasn't a year. It wasn't a year where we would buy. We bought some. We were able to brought someone from the hotel industry. We felt we wanted more than someone to actually clean, someone to help us with processes and being very thorough. We thought the hotel industry had their processes in place.
hmm.
So she would supervise during the night and then work during the day for a hotel, and then work with us, cleaning and training us at night. So we set a lot of the processes on, checking things for to get done the way that, even a waste basket is it's lined, the bags to use and things like that. She was the one that taught us those first steps. Um, so yeah, that was our first employee. After a while, we decided that we wanted two employees at that account, so they will be able to do the job, and we can focus more on the marketing side. And that's where we started actually growing, getting all other accounts. We tested with a lot of things in the beginning. We in the beginning we took restaurants and other kinds of businesses. So we were anyone that wanted cleaning, we would clean for, and then we believe after that we understood that we do much better in common areas for apartment buildings and offices, and basically focus on those serving those clients.
I'm glad you just mentioned marketing, Ramon. From a marketing standpoint, now I'm sure it looks different than when you started 18, 19 years ago. So now from how do you bring traffic into the business?
We still, believe it or not, most of our new business is referral.
Mm,
Uh, I feel we have been as a company very strong in the service part, not that strong in marketing. We're that transition from being an owner salesperson, from actually having a process to sell, it was hard for us. And we recently have gotten a little bit better showing people what outside of our network who we are, and more about us, and doing some marketing, some outreach marketing, getting newer accounts. But it's been really tough. That's probably been the toughest part. I'm much more excited about building a process, helping a client, than I am to maybe pick up the phone for someone that I don't know, I don't have any relationship, and try to sell the business. Um, so yeah, but we're doing much better right now. LinkedIn has helped us building relationship. We have also made some improvements to our websites, and we keep reminding our clients to give us referrals, because that's usually the easiest way we're used to closing. Most recently, we're also doing a lot more of turnover cleaning for apartment communities,
hmm.
and that has landed us several clients where we started doing turnovers, and they're able to hire us for the common area for the long-term contract that way, after we build a relationship with them. Um, But marketing is not our strength. I would tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it has worked. We have been growing every year. So yeah, very
That's
happy
great.
about it.
So for apartment communities, it's you try to get the foot in the door with just first doing turnovers, which is when a old tenant leaves and they're preparing it for a new tenant to come in. And then from there, you start your relationship there, and then hopefully that gets you an opportunity to get the bigger account, which is taking care of the common areas.
Exactly. Yeah. If you look at it from a cleaning company, you probably want the long-term fixed contract and it's larger.
Hmm.
But when you focus on what the client actually needs, they have more trouble finding good companies for the turnover part. So that's what we realized. Some of our clients actually told us that's where the pain points are, because not many companies focus on that part, and it's not as profitable. So cleaning companies tend to get away from it, but we feel that's what we have developed the most in the recent months. It's being able to point that service to where they need it. Like doing simple things like doing inspection for their outlet, make sure the outlet works when the new tenant move in. While we're cleaning, our cleaners are trained to find any pets that might be there. Find any droppings from pets or mice and things like that would be able to tell them ahead of time that there's a problem that they need to take care of. So just thinking about what the client actually wants, that golden rule always works, and it's helping us a lot, to sell without being that pushy and being that actually interrupting them to try to sell to them. Yeah.
I like that, Ramon. That's smart. That I didn't know that you're there testing electrical outlets or like you said droppings or I don't know. I'm sure they see it, but maybe bulbs or light bulbs are out or whatever, or one of the burners isn't working in the kitchen. And then you can point these things out and just be like, oh, look, they're very detailed.
Yeah, exactly. It saves them headaches. And it also gives the cleaner power, which was, it's our mission to transform the way the world views cleaning. We couldn't find a more, I guess, easier way to understand, to communicate that part. But we want the cleaner to be viewed a little bit more than what it is today. The examples that everybody that use a cleaner as an example is the lower end of the employment ladder, and we feel like we're not going to change that by saying it, but by training cleaners and giving them more tools to do more than just cleaning. Especially now with robots and things like that, we really need to up the cleaners game on other things that they can help while they're in the buildings, so that their job is more valued out there.
Yeah, that's true. I don't see a robot checking for all those things that you mentioned.
Yeah, no, and I know that robots are going to be cleaning floors. I think floors, at least all the floor work,
Hmm.
that's already changing, and we need to get on board. We're getting on board and started testing some robot vacuums and things like that. But those check box that you mentioned, and especially the relationship with the tenants, with the clients, that's not going to go away. I think. Hopefully forever, but at least not in the short term. So that's where we need to encourage more, and actually give. I know the cleaners want that, but we need to, as a company, we need to give them the tools to be able to do that. Yeah.
I know when you started the company, what, almost 19 years ago, Ramon, it was just first you and your co-founder, and then you said you brought someone in from the hospitality sector 6 months into it. So it was just the three of you and then adding more people. How does the team look like today now?
We're about 90 people today. I think it's 88, the exact number, like this
Hmm.
last payroll. So yeah, the team has definitely grown. we have people in the staff. We have been able to assign great people in finances, HR, marketing, BD, and IT. Also, we have someone that helps us with the IT department, and then our service department, which is managers and supervisors. Also, my co-owner now, she's the operating, Catherine, she's the chief operating officer, and she runs the operation, the day-to-day operation. She's much more focused than I am, and much more has a lot more attention to detail. So we were able to add that addition. I think she's been with us for 14 years now.
14,
and,
wow.
Yeah, and she co-owns the business with me now. Yeah. So yeah, we have I can't be happier than the team that I have. It's just a lot of great, hardworking people.
The team is so important, and surrounding yourself with the right team members to put in the right positions, right? How do you go about finding the right people to hire?
Yeah, we understood earlier on that we need someone in HR. That's something that many cleaning companies neglect. Many co-owners that I know from other companies, they wouldn't hire someone from HR until the company is much larger, even larger than us. But we believe that since the beginning. Cleaners refer other cleaners. That's how we get, they're happier. We comply with all we usually pay above minimum wage. And then just treat them really, really well. Just treat them with respect, respect them, listen to them. They choose their tools. If there's a tool that doesn't work, we listen to them and we change them. We work a lot with them, and then encourage them to, they send pictures now of when the job is finished, like before and after, send comments. We have a platform that they talk to the client. We also get out of the way. So many things, the cleaners, if the client, talks to the cleaner, we allow them to talk. We feel that they make them owner of that contract as well. And that has worked really, really well for us. We have no problems finding great cleaners, and when they come recommended, it just everybody's job is easier. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, because I hear many times, especially with a business like this, that sometimes they have difficulties finding the right people to bring on. So I'm happy to hear that you have a HR person just dedicated to this, and a lot of the growth as far as to your team is just referrals and bringing other cleaners that way.
Yeah. There are two sides. There's the night part-timers. That's easier to find usually because
Hmm.
many, especially Latinos, have a job and they want a part-time to compensate for their income. But the daily, the day porters, which are most of our people right now, they're harder to find in the industry in general. But we use a lot of technology to make sure our overhead is not as high. So we're able to handle a lot of that, and then we can give them more of the chunk of the contract to them, and that really helps because many cases minimum wage doesn't just cut it in the Washington D.C. area, so we had to understand that. But I think for us, we've always been close to them as well. I think being Latino really helps in that side because we're able to speak, same language, and it's just, I think for us as a company, it's not as hard as other
Sure.
companies. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the communication and the language definitely is a big plus, and it helps.
Definitely. Yeah.
What would you say, Ramon, you're most proud of so far in your business career?
Getting together a team is the hardest thing to do, and especially now we work remote. We don't have an office. We felt like the money that we were spending in an office, and that was way before COVID, we can use it in our client side. So when my operations manager goes to work, he goes to a client site and works in the lobby or finds an office there to work. And we felt that was much more, much better for our client than us having a headquarters and then, disconnected from a lot of what it was happening. So especially now, integrity, finding people that can actually work remotely and are able to connect with your goal and the things you want to accomplish and the mission that we have has been extremely hard. And, it took a lot of testing to get this team together. But when I meet with them and I see what I have in each department, I'm very proud of that. That's one thing that I feel I'm really good at it. It's getting different people from different background and together and working together and towards that goal. Yeah.
So you were doing
and
the whole
compensating each other.
Yeah. So you were doing the whole remote thing even before the pandemic.
Yeah. We started. It was one of those crazy ideas that people think in your team think that it's not going to work, and it took a lot to prove. But and then in the beginning, people were staying home. Like staying home, working from home, and getting people to actually go to different places every day is challenging. Yeah, it takes some getting used to. But our clients love it. Our clients see us there. They see us at the lobby. They see two of us having a meeting, in one of the rooms. We, go and ask them, but they know that we're there, and while we're there, we take care of things that they want. So yeah, it took some getting used to. Not normal thing. Right now, it's normal. Totally normal. But in the beginning, it was very challenging to change that mindset in our staff. Even myself, there were times that I doubted that decision. I loved my office, and I wanted to have an office to go back to every day. Yeah. But yeah, getting out of the office and getting to the clients, that's where they need us.
Yeah. That's great. So as far as like supplies and equipment, I'm sure they're on site on the client, right?
I didn't hear that last part. I'm sorry.
As far as the supplies and equipment, then they're just on site on the client's property, and then if you need to replenish or add some things, you just bring it there instead of having okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we worked with a vendor for 18 years. So we got to work with them really closely to be able to accomplish that, where they would deliver every order specifically to each location. And then we have a process where the cleaner actually receives that merchandise and puts it together, and then our vendor gets paid. But all of our merchandise is delivered to the spot. Some cleaning companies, we were like that in the beginning. We would have a central location, and then our people were the delivery people. I still see a lot of companies doing that, but we want that to be delivered to every location. We don't want our precious time for operations, taking care of clients and cleaners, to be able to be delivering merchandise. That's something that is already taken care of. It was a challenge because companies like Amazon, they would deliver but getting high quality commercial cleaning products specifically delivered that way, sometimes in smaller quantities, it was a challenge. But we worked with our vendor, and we still have them. We're still working with them. We haven't looked to other side, and that partnership has really helped.
Now all of the business is commercial, right? So as far as doing individual homes like you were in the beginning when the business was started, it's only just commercial, whether apartment communities or, like you said, government or offices or healthcare.
Yes, that's correct. Only commercial. We don't do any homes. We feel that's something really, that's a very exciting market. great market after COVID as well, because of the, people are staying home and spending more time and more money on their houses. But we feel there's still a lot more to grow in the commercial side. There are still many more property managers that we can help. So we don't have a big percentage of the market yet. So we feel instead of spreading ourselves too thin, we rather really focus on that. Yeah, on our core.
What advice would you give to someone, Ramon, if they came to you and said, I want to start my own business, maybe not commercial cleaning, maybe something totally different. Any big pointers?
Yeah. I've gotten that question. Actually, in my community, not very many people have started a business that is successful. So I've been asked that a lot in different ways, and it goes back to solving a problem for someone. That's the first thing. I mean, it's not about what you want. It's about what someone needs. And if you're able to connect something that you're really good at, that you're excited about, with a problem that someone has, you have the first step. You have a business that you can run. After that, it's a lot of hard work. No matter what, it doesn't matter what someone tells you. I think this is just a lot of hours in the beginning, especially to be able to set everything in place and to solve the problems and to get to know the business. I believe you have to feel the business. I know when something is wrong in Fresco before I get a report or something. You just get to feel that after you work on it, and with the people and actually getting to clean. I think that clients feel it when you know about cleaning, know about the problems. So hard work, get the business first. I think that's something that people missed. It has to be a problem that needs to be solved, right? And you have to, hopefully you're really good at it and you're excited about it, and then work really hard to get it. Also, there's this view now that everybody has to have a business. If you feel like you lack some capability to run the business, some skill, get together with someone, get 2 or 3 of your friends or some colleagues or online that you feel you can work with. And because, this entrepreneurial, there are definitely things on the entrepreneurial side, especially taking risk, that not everybody wants to do it. So, get someone to compensate the skills that you don't have, or the knowledge that you don't have.
Yeah, that's all great advice. Thank you. You just mentioned now, as far as sometimes if there's a problem about to happen or something, you just feel it without even seeing a report. Is there any signals or anything that you makes you feel, maybe in your gut or something? You're like, something is not right, doesn't smell right, before you even start seeing the numbers?
Yeah. Sometimes it would be speaking with a cleaner, and they may not want to tell you at that point, but you feel there's something wrong with it. It might be a supervisor that is not doing their job or things like that. And then when you dig in, you find a little bit more. Or also clients, especially clients. Sometimes clients want to be nice and they don't want to tell you the small problems that they may have, but it starts accumulating that way. But then when you start digging, if you feel someone that you spoke with has something else that they're not telling you, but they're not feeling their best with your company, but it's probably not something huge that they're not complaining about, but they wish it was better. So yeah, those are the things that I usually, just talking to people, I get that you get that feeling that something is missing, something needs to change before it gets too big of a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true because after a while, all that starts adding up, and then next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, we don't need you anymore. We found someone else." I'm like, "You should have told me some of this stuff. I don't know."
Exactly, exactly. Clients many times they will do that. If you're not on top of your game and talking to them and getting that feeling from them, getting to know them. Sometimes they just don't want to tell you small things, but it might be one mistake at the end, accumulated, and that's the end of the contract. Especially in this industry, cleaning is a very competitive business. We started cleaning because we didn't have much money to start another business, right? That was our first push. So many people start in this business and they don't understand, and they may lowball your pricing, and a property manager that is receiving some pressure might uh, just decide to switch to another company. And there's a lot of rotation in this market. So yeah, we really need to be careful with our cost and very, very um, uh, caring for our clients all the time. It's very important.
You mentioned a couple times as far as how you like to implement technology and put that in the process. How has that worked for you in Fresco as far as using technology in your business and make things easier?
Yeah, right now we're like I mentioned, we're testing vacuums like regular. We understand that automation is going to be huge, especially now with AI. There's no question about it. The technology, like I was in a trade show in Chicago a couple of years ago, and then you saw the robots, but you saw that they still needed a lot of work. But having these capabilities now with AI, it's just going to be exponentially easier for them to do a better job on mopping, vacuuming, doing floor care, especially floor. So that's something that we're testing as a group, starting getting used to managing. I think cleaning companies are going to become a lot of management for managing that technology for the buildings. The buildings may not want to deal with the robot with the automated vacuum at first, but yeah, cleaning companies are going to need to do that for them. And then as far as giving an app, we have our own custom app for the cleaners and for our staff. That way, the cleaners have much more capability to report things, take pictures, speak to clients. Do checklist, order their own materials, receive their own materials, many other things that, just more tools for them to become more powerful. Instead of staff doing part of the work, they can do some of that work that staff used to do. That way they also are able to get higher compensation for their work. So those two areas I think are going to be huge. Automation of office task, more capability for cleaners, and automation, being able to understand and manage automation equipment in our facilities. So yeah, those three we're really excited about and are spending a lot of time on it right now to be able to stay ahead.
Great. Are there any habits, Ramon, or habits, or maybe even traits you feel that you have that have helped you on the business, or even maybe just outside of the business on your personal side of things?
Yeah, for myself, I think meditation, sometimes I say saved my life, because with businesses, you get a lot of stress. And sometimes there's no cutoff time. We have people working basically 24 hours. So in the back of your mind, even if you're not receiving the call, you know that someone that that you're responsible for is at certain facilities at 12 at night. So I got into the habit several years ago, probably 5 years ago, of meditating, and that really has made me more present and seeing some, other things that I didn't used to see before about myself and the way I handle myself when I speak to a cleaner, solve a problem, or resolve a complaint from a client. So that was a great habit for me. Um, Also, waking up early. I think I'm up 5:30. I'm usually on my desk 6 at the latest. So usually when my team starts, I'm able to have some planning for them and being able to talk with some help them out instead of just pushing them. I know what they probably should be working on and how I can direct their efforts. um, and working hard. I've been a hard worker all my life, so I feel I compensate a lot of my um, lack of skills in other areas with very hard work. So yeah.
What is your biggest challenge with your role today at Fresco?
Definitely marketing. I appreciate you inviting me today to this, but getting right now, many of the clients get to know you because of the network videos and things like that. And lots of people that are not your clients yet, they will get to know you online. And that's something that has been very challenging to me. I've been more to the ground, to the to talking to my people, but not posting a picture or not even taking a picture of something well done or a job well done. So that has been really a big change for us. But I'm ready for it. I feel I got the right mindset. That this is here and this is the way that people are able to know you a little bit better, and being people that don't know you don't purchase from you. And I need to keep adding accounts to my teams and to my cleaner, and that's a good enough challenge for me to really push myself to learn and be more out there.
Is that a lot of your focus, Ramon, is as far as growing, the revenue, the sales of the business? Because I know you said you also have the co-owner, I believe, Claudia. Um,
Catherine, yeah,
oh, I'm sorry.
Catherine,
I'm sorry,
yes.
Catherine. Yes, I apologize. Catherine, who does a lot of the day-to-day operations side of things.
Yeah. She's a lot more upfront with visiting clients, even more than me. I still do a lot of that, but she's more on a day to day. Um, yeah. The part that's a big part of it. I would say I would not depend 100% on it. I hope to continue to grow organically. The fact to be calling, at least like cold calling people or bothering people to offer my service, that still I still don't buy that, but I do feel that people that don't know us have to have a platform to get to know us, and we need to give them that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hope that we grow a lot more on showing the world what we do, the work we do, and who we are as a company.
I'm happy to hear that. And even that, it's still always a work in progress because sometimes you don't feel like putting something. And sometimes you don't, you're like, it's okay, but you have to almost push yourself. Like, let me put this out there, whether a video or whatever, a picture. You probably have a lot of good content because you have before and after Fresco, right?
Yeah,
So there's a lot of good material there you can use.
exactly. Yeah. There's definitely lots of materials, and the cleaners, they're helping us a lot, because giving them that power of them, cleaning a bathroom, they like how it looks. They take a picture and upload it, and then our marketing manager is able to have something to work with, as far as showing who we are. So yeah, I think they're going to be probably the greatest asset on helping us show who we are, and
Mhm.
also showing potential clients, the people that already work for us and that could be servicing their accounts.
What do you know now, Ramon, that you wish you would have known at the start of your business?
Um, well, I wish if I knew how hard it would be, I would probably would not start a business at the point. So that's something that I'd rather not know. But I learned that, and I say that as a joke for other people that are going to start a business. It's really rewarding. It just takes a lot of work, but that work actually makes you grow. Um, I when I first began, I thought the more that I keep things to me, doing it myself, the better. So I've always been late delegating some tasks. But the key is to find great people, and I think that's probably the best advice I would give anyone. Just spend time hiring. Just take your time hiring people. And if someone doesn't work for you, fire them fast as well. Like make sure they move on to another business fast, but take your time, interviewing, getting to know that person, asking about, and then giving them the tools in the beginning to make sure you have a great team and that you can delegate, because it's just that's where you start to really have fun in this. It's where you have a team that you feel is pushing even more than you to get things done and to move forward. So, and I didn't think that was possible in the beginning. I thought, owners are the only ones that really care. That was my thought in the beginning. But I've known, and I have on my team some people that really care about even more. Sometimes I feel like, all right, let's wrap this up, and they feel like, no, let's finish this up today, and it just makes a whole of a difference, on your day-to-day work.
Is there something that people can do to make your team want to care more? Obviously, they're not all owners of the company, right? So there's certain levels to this, but how can you get your team sort of on board to care as maybe the same or close to you, or sometimes even more, like you said, as far as doing the work?
Um, yeah, there's well, follow up a little bit more on the questions to make sure I answer it correctly.
Sure, because you were mentioning just now how some of your team actually sometimes even cares more as far as completing a
Yeah,
job, right? And sometimes there's difficulties out there in the marketplace where how can I get my team member to care more, to show more initiative, to try to put more into it? And of course, not everyone's an
yeah,
owner. They're not all owners.
yeah,
So
yeah,
is there something that maybe you're doing there in-house, to treat them differently or doing something
yeah.
differently?
Yeah, the first thing would be to listen to them. That's the thing, because you learn a lot from what they actually need on their job, or things changes that we need to make. Giving them the tools, of course. Um, Treating them with respect. Even the people that we have let go, they don't expect to be let go that day. It's always a surprise to them, and that's good and bad. But I feel that's a plus, just because we treat them with respect. There's not a day that we will be, like, speak to them in a manner that we would regret. We have learned that over the years, and my whole team is really respectful. But also, sharing profits. Our team receives, the whole staff receives, after they're here 6 months, they receive some kind of profit distribution. Um, every time a client pays us, they will receive something. And then the cleaners, for example, on the material side, they get incentives when they don't waste. So if they stay within our average consumption, they will see that deposited in their account. So, and that really helps them, feel, even if it's small amount of money, it helps them feel like they did that, but they also got a portion of that. So I think it's not only talking the talk, but also making sure you're able to distribute some of the money that you're receiving with the whole rest of the team. We want to do a lot more of that. Having a mission, of course, also helps because everybody feels that they're just working towards something, and every time we feel we gave a cleaner this tool, or someone asked us to do a job that wasn't a cleaner job before, we feel like we're getting closer to that mission of us.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure. Thank you.
Did you have any mentors? Because I know when you and your co-founder started this, you didn't have experience in the cleaning business. And then you were saying you were working on proposals for your first commercial contract. Maybe you didn't even know how to do a proposal. You're like, oh, how do I do this? What do I submit? But did you have anyone maybe showing you, teaching you things along the way, or any mentors? And if so, what did you learn from them?
No, I picked mentorships here and there from just talking to people. Let's say one of our vendors have much larger company, and I would speak with them about something, and they would advise me. Someone that I know with experience. A lot of books, learning from books, and picking some mentors that some of them not even alive anymore, but that's probably the most mentorship I've received. Sometimes I have thought about that, like hiring someone in the beginning, hire someone with more experience. But we felt like the day-to-day learning and moving and solving problems have taught us a lot. And then on the business side, reading and studying other companies and learning about ideas on business has really helped. Also, our clients. I remember many of our clients, even that first client, someone there really helped us in the beginning to structure everything in the company and processes, and they were able to talk to us and spend time helping us out. So yeah. Never thought about that question before.
That's great. Coming to an end here soon, Ramon. What excites you? What does the future look like for you and Fresco for the next couple of years?
Yeah, we're very excited about the future, growing, getting more clients. We are growing, getting more clients right now, getting interested in what we're doing and the type of services that we're providing. And applying technology, running this new wave of automation and AI with my team, and coming ahead of these challenges and these exciting times with my team. It's really exciting to me, and I know it's going to keep us really busy in the next couple of years. So I feel we're ready for what's coming. We've been preparing for this, and really excited about building the next Fresco with more technology and more automation. Yeah,
that's great. When you're not busy working and growing Fresco, what do you like to do for fun in your free time?
Yeah, I do mountain biking. I'm very active. I have a 6-year-old also that is starting to mountain bike with me, so I usually go around with him. And also motorcycles. I really have a big love for motorcycles, especially adventure motorcycles. Anything outdoor, I enjoy it. Yeah.
That's great.
What about you? I would be excited to hear what you do.
What I like to do for fun?
Yeah.
So I have 3 young boys. A lot of it's being almost their glorified Uber driver to different events and sports. So
Don't we
when
all?
yeah, so when I'm not doing that, well, my thing that centers me every day is working out every morning. That's my time alone. Um, Even my wife notices that when I don't work out, I'm a very different person. So that's my form of meditation, because I feel that when I'm working out, I'm working my mind, my body, my spirit. It just helps me out overall. So for me is mostly that is just family, taking the kids to different events, and then just my workout, and then after that is work really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Same here. For me, that meditation part is the motorcycle. My wife would tell me, if she knows I haven't really ridden for a week, she would tell me, "Are you sure you don't want to go riding?" Because she knows something is missing. I think I'm a different person also when I don't do that. You really need that time.
Yeah,
Think
it's
about
very true.
things.
It's so true. Sometimes when we're in the dinner table and then she noticed something someone says or something is like I immediately and they're like, "Oh, you didn't work out today" or something, and I'm like, sometimes you can tell.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ramon, if people want to learn more about you and Fresco, get to know you a little bit better, where can they go to find some more information, please?
Frescoinc.com. So that's frescoinc.com. You can find us there in our social network. So yeah, that's probably the easiest way. We're Instagram, Facebook, and but that's probably the more direct way to find us. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Otto. I really appreciate you doing this for small businesses. Really
Of
appreciate it.
course, of course. I enjoy it. The pleasure's all mine. Take care, Ramon.
Take care. You too.